It seems to me is just capture a little bit more of the funny stuff in real life than actually there is. Are there any more women coming upstairs?
There's something for everybody. Mom, dad, kids, all these ages.
Mallory, you're my daughter, and I love you very much. But I'm never getting into an automobile with you again.
Everybody is like one real family, and it shows.
I love you all so much. I think it's very broad, intelligent humor, and based in reality. My baby girl's gone! She's back!
First and foremost, we're funny.
Thank you!
The comedy, though, comes out of the situation.
Stella!
It's a funny show.
The initial idea for Family Ties was really very autobiographical. You know, Diane and I were 60s, children of the 60s. We still consider ourselves children of the 60s. We're now grandparents of the 60s, but it was who we were. And I remember I was sitting at a friend's house, and his son gets up, and Jim and I are in shorts and T-shirts, and it's a Saturday, and this kid comes in dressed suit and tie. He's going to some young Republican meeting, and I just thought there's something going on here, and it kind of came out of that.
The idea of this, the kind of character you'd never seen before, this sort of little William F. Buckley type, the young man in the sweater and tie and business suit with an attaché case.
I'm planning to expand this into a major enterprise. A full line of Harding High Class of '84 products. Coffee mugs, bookmarks, Frisbees. That's just the start.
So much of the show was mirroring society at that time. As it stands now, the show is like a 80s time capsule. Maybe the best one, really.
Interestingly enough, when we came on in 1982, we were the only nuclear family comedy. There were very low hopes for Family Ties, which actually was really good to come in under the radar like that. NBC was number 3 at that time, only because there were 3 networks. Had there been a 4th network, they would have been 4th. But so they were just happy to have somebody come in and tell them an idea.
I'm Stephen Keaton.
My name is Elise Keaton.
This is the great Alex Keaton.
I'm Mallory Keaton.
I'm Jennifer Keaton.
Who's this?
I'm still Alex.
Insanely, Michael J. Fox was not my first choice for the part of Alex Keaton, and I resisted seeing him.
But I went in and read for it, and I loved the character a lot, and I read for Gary, and Gary hated me, just didn't want to have anything to do with me. He
had made a choice about how to attack the role of Alex, and it was, in fact, the wrong choice, because he played the dark side of Alex. He just didn't seem that funny to me, But Judith Weiner, our brilliant casting director, turned to me immediately. She goes, "Okay, you just made a terrible mistake." I go, "Why?" She goes, "That's the guy. He's wonderful, And I said, "Judith, I don't think he's the guy, And she said, "He is. There's nobody." I said, "Look, I created the character. I don't think Alex Keaton is Michael J. Fox, okay?" Luckily, Judith Weiner was a champion of mine and really fought for me and kept prevailing upon Gary to see me again. And Gary finally relented after about a month. She said, "Will you do me a favor? Will you see Michael Fox one more time?" And I said, "I will see him, but I know he's not the guy." And so she brought him in again, and he read, and he had made a different choice. And there it was very available, and he left, and I turned to Judith. I go, "Why don't you tell me about this kid? He's great." Oh, what you're seeing here is simply my natural boyish exuberance, that's all. It was bound to emerge eventually.
Sometimes you get that combination of the right actor at the right time with the right writing, and you go, wow.
And Judith Weiner found all these people. I mean, she was just a gifted casting director, and very quickly we were starting to assemble the pieces. The hardest one was the father. We just couldn't find someone we were comfortable with, and eventually we found Michael Gross literally the night before.
Hello!
Hi.
Take it easy. Save a little something for Father's Day.
It was my daughter, Shauna. She was the final one. I would show the tapes of all the actors to her. We didn't show them to Paramount. We didn't show them to NBC, but I would show them to my daughter, and who was 10. And she said, "I like him, Daddy. I think he's the one."
Apparently it was Gary Goldberg's daughter who looked at the various tapes and said, "Gee, he looks like a nice daddy," or something to that effect. And so I still credit my television career with a decision of an 8-year-old.
Michael Gross was definitely the biggest kid on the set. I mean, he literally would get in trouble on a daily basis.
Meredith, you sit down now, all right? You sit down in the chair.
Atta girl. Now roll over. Oh.
Michael Gross, who played Mr. Stephen Keaton, was perhaps the funniest one on the set in terms of just making us laugh out loud all the time.
If you don't want me going to the movies on a school night, I won't go to school tomorrow.
All right, that sounds reasonable.
Wait a minute.
He could be that bumbling dad, but at the same time, too, he could be so smart and so on the nose and so efficient and brilliant. And that didn't surprise you either as a character. He'd created a character that would allow you to go to either place with that character.
I had always had a crush on Meredith Baxter, so that was an easy one for me.
What Meredith did that was so great, and what classically has been really successful, are going back to like Carole Lombard, you know, is these beautiful women that are willing to look foolish. You have won $1,263.
But Meredith probably had the most expertise on television as any of us. There was nothing put on about her. She was a working mom, essentially, who went home and took care of her kids at the end of the day.
I felt comfort with her. I felt that embrace, you know, that you feel with your mom.
Didn't you say you thought you'd get a B in biology this term?
I did say that. I did think that. I was wrong.
Justine Bateman, when we cast her, had never actually acted. She'd been a model, and she just had that sweetness that I thought Mallory should have, and Michael Whitehorn had an instant crush on her.
Justine, who was brilliant, I mean, absolutely brilliant at setups, could float a setup like a balloon.
Alex, a good model doesn't show her true feelings. She just smiles as if she doesn't have a thought in the world.
You just pop. Then you should make a great model. She's just so gifted, and still is.
I think I really did have a crush on her. I think people got that through the show.
Mallory! I get up, but I seem to have lost all sense in the lower part of my body.
I think there was a sense that I wasn't acting like I was in love with her, but I really was.
What do you say you and I find something else to do while your parents and Alex console my poor, injured sister?
I've lost my ability to speak even now.
Used to be a plate. Now it's art.
There's lots more art in the cupboard, Mom.
Jennifer, while not originally based on my own daughter, Shauna, ended up having many of her characteristics, and a strong voice and a razor-sharp intelligence.
When you walk in this house, you're not the coach anymore. You're what you've always been, an annoying human being.
To the others, playing Jennifer Keaton was, in fact, wise beyond her years in real life. And that came out on the show. She was a natural. She was just a natural.
Carrie Newman is in this house now? Oh, my God.
He's so cute when he falls apart.
Her vocabulary, I mean, it was all phonetically learned. I have no idea what I was saying half the time.
Alex, you're interrupting fertilization. That tie is right wing. Brando could do it.
How did you do that?
I just used my cabeza.
My impression, she didn't always know what she was talking about. You know, they put big words in her mouth, this precocious kid.
Alex, will you stop faking feelings? What is it? Faking?
By and large, it was a lot of fun to watch her grow up on the show.
Have you been taking amphetamines?
You actually think that I'm an alcoholic? Well, haven't you heard? I'm adopted.
I'm in love with you.
You've got 2 dates for the prom.
Traumatized was an interesting design, and interesting how it changed as well. I thought we would always do big issue shows, nuclear war, racism, drugs, and we did almost all of those with varying degrees of success. But what became interesting was the smaller stories seemed to resonate so much more for the audience.
Television is different now. Family Ties dealt with